It says we're live. Hey,
Oh
hey,
my
Pep,
goodness.
how you doing?
I'm doing good. I've just got a whole handful of jewelry parts right now. So
Oh, so live on the show today, Pamela Steele does jewelry.
Pamela Steel is shortening a chain that it hangs way too far down. And every time I love this thing. It's beautiful. My daughter-in-law got it for me for Christmas. Um,
Yep.
it's one side is Labradorite, which is one of my favorites.
Oh, I
And the other
love
side,
Labradorite. My mom gave
oh,
me.
you and me both. And the other side is Septarium or something like that. Anyway, it's also known as the Dragon Stone. Go figure.
Oh, what's it called again? The Dragonstone?
Oh, hold on. Let me look that up real quick because I
The
probably
reason I'm
mispronounced.
asking is because, as you know, I'm a dragon person, and I didn't know there was a Dragonstone. I need to get that apparently. Ah, Oh, while you're doing that, I'm going to say welcome to everybody. Welcome to the cafe. Grab your coffee or tea, pull up a chair. Let's hang out. I see Venus is in the chat already. Hi, Venus. And if anybody has a question, just type your question in the chat. There's no list to get on, nothing like that. You don't have to, can I get a reading? You don't have to ask. All you do is you type your question into the chat. You can put something to get our attention, like Venus did, putting the hand that gets our attention, something like that. Um, Also, if you want to, well, I was going to say, if you want to skip the line, there's no line, but sometimes we get a lot of questions. And if you don't want to wait through our topic and everything like that, if you go over to tarotbiz.com/coffee, tarotbiz.com/coffee, you can grab us a cup of coffee and just let us know in the chat. And guess what? We will jump the line. We will stop the topic. We will stop whatever we're doing. We'll go right to your question and we'll give you more time and stuff like that. And that basically that's how you do it. Yep.
And sometimes, okay, when you buy us a cup of coffee, usually if because we're doing all these free readings, you're allowed one question, uno más. But
Mhm.
if you buy us coffee, we'll let you ask a couple. How's that?
Exactly. That's how it
Because we're
works.
so sweet.
Of course, you don't have to ask a question if you just enjoy these shows. You can send us, it's basically our tip jar. You can
Yes.
always put something in the tip jar there. So if you have questions, Venus says, me too. I don't know what she was responding to. But if you have a question, Venus, go ahead and put it in the chat. Anybody else that's listening or watching, Michelle couldn't make it, but she's supposed to join us in the chat soon. So we'll see. I don't know, off camera, in the green room before we started, Pam and I were talking. She has all those kids and Dan also to take care of.
Who has a man cold?
Yeah, and so it's like, I mean, we're surprised she shows up for even her shows.
Anything.
She
Yeah,
was
anything.
she was here yesterday doing her monthly Crown Share Saturday, and Pam and I joined her.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh,
Also,
that stone you asked about before I forget, it's called a Septarian dragon eggs or dragon stones. And they're a natural 160 million year old concretions, primarily from Madagascar, composed of
wow.
yellow calcite, brown aragonite, and gray limestone that are often polished into egg shapes. And often the insides are geodes. They're gorgeous. So there, no, here it is. Here it is. There's a little piece of it.
Yeah,
Okay. But yeah,
you,
anyway,
you
that's
got
what
to
it's
type
called. So,
that into our a private message on Facebook with me, and because I will not
okay, of
remember all that. But if you
course not.
copy and paste that in for me,
I can.
yeah, yeah. And so we were also supposed to have Ginger here, one of our hosts. She used to be on Angelic Realms. Uh, I'm trying to remember what they changed the name to. Anyway, one of our defunct shows, and she actually owns a metaphysical bookstore. And so I wanted to get her side of things, because that's the topic today, collaborating with metaphysical bookstores, getting your cards on their table if you're a professional reader. Mm-hmm. if you're listening audio and podcast, sorry. Occasionally I am, grabbing a drink here. Hey, before we do anything else, while we're waiting for more people to come in, oh, my phone's dinging. My phone's dinging. Oh, I know. Pam sent me the Dragonstone. Yay. I got to put this on silent for the show. I usually do, but I forgot this time. Yeah. Okay. So let's do the card of the day, or actually cards of the day that I got. Um, so here we've got the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Cups. They both wanted to come out. So I said, okay, well, I'll put them both up there. So you are currently experiencing a paradox of success. Even though you are standing in the middle of a beautiful harvest, the Nine of Cups, your mind is stuck in a loop of worry, the Nine of Swords. You might be waiting for the other shoe to drop, or maybe you're feeling like a fraud despite your achievements. A lot of times we get that, oh, what
Imposter
is it?
syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. And actually, we have a workshop scheduled for that. I think it's in March, where we're going to talk about, imposter syndrome and everything for tarot readers. You're likely overthinking a situation to the point of mental exhaustion with the Nine of Swords. It represents anxiety, guilt, or the stories we tell ourselves in the dark. The Nine of Cups is the card of emotional fulfillment, luxury, and having your cups full. It indicates that on a material or emotional level, things are actually going very well, or they're about to. So here's some advice. Number one, acknowledge the fear and then look at the cups. Validate that you feel anxious, but then physically count your blessings. The Nine of Cups is the reality, while the Nine of Swords is the projection. Number two, release the what ifs. You're standing at the threshold of a major wish come true, but your mental chatter is acting as a barrier to actually enjoying it. And then number three, sleep and self-care. Since the Nine of Swords often deals with insomnia, the cards are telling you that a regulated nervous system is the only thing standing between you and your happiness, really. So there you go. The cards, or the card. Yeah, I was going to say card, but it's the cards of the day. Yeah.
Okay. First question, Dax, which deck were you using? Because you didn't say.
I was using the my new deck for 2026, the Soha, Soha, Soha Tarot, which has these gorgeous, gorgeous images on them.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
I love
No, the
this
reason
deck.
I ask is because so often you see posts and people have used a deck and they don't credit the deck's where it's from. They don't the name of it
Yeah.
or anything.
Yeah. Well,
And I'm sorry, that
I
annoys me to no end.
I understand that. Yeah, I mean, I've been promoting this deck. I've been using it on every show since before the end of the year, and since I got it, it was my Christmas present from mom, who's no longer with us, because just the synchronicities in the way that I, discovered this deck and got it. I haven't bought a new tarot deck since this one. Let me grab this real quick. My um foil deck, I wanted something that was Waite Smith images but was a little fancier and looked better on camera. And that was a couple years ago when we were really getting into YouTube. Here's the URL, and I'm going to pop it in the chat. If anybody wants to go over to Amazon and grab it, just go to thetarotguild.com. Yeah, where is it? Over here. Thetarotguild.com and slash Soha Tarot. So SOHATAROT. Soha Tarot. And it'll take you right over there and you grab it. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, do I have, hold on a second. I want to do, we didn't do this yesterday, but it wasn't my show. So, um, whenever Pam's on, I like to go over and check out Steel Wizard.
It was on sale on the US site yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Uh
check. I'm checking it out right now.
yeah, 24.95, which is $10 off the regular retail price.
Yeah, hold on. 33% off, $23.29. So it's a
There you go.
steal. It's a bargain right now. Here's the whole thing, the whole box, which I love the magnetic. I love all these boxes that have magnetic enclosures now. And it's the whole thing. You open up, you're greeted by this huge book. Yeah, no little white book here, and then of course the deck in the middle here, 88 cards. And why is it 88 cards? Let people know.
Um, well, when I first picked up my very first ever tarot deck, it was the Rider Waite, and that was my introduction to tarot. I was in Fort Worth, Texas, with my cousin who made me buy a tarot deck, and I went through the whole thing. We got back to the hotel room. She's on her side, I'm on my side of the room, and I start laying the cards out in order. And I'm
Hmm.
looking through, and she's going, "Well, what do you think?" And I said, "Well, where's the rest of them?" Well, she just boom, she leaps across the room. She's very graceful, actually, by the way, and Maya Heath, dragon scale jewelry. But anyway, she leaps across the room and she says, "Oh my God." So she goes through them one card at a time. They were all there. I get a bunch of these and I said, "But there's no card for absolute truth. There's no card for young women. There's no card for," and she said, just read them. So I spent the next 20 years going through different decks, mostly Rider Waite based decks, because I really love the protocol. I tried
Yeah.
the others. Toth, I tried Lenormand, I've tried them all. And really, the Rider Waite was the only one that actually felt right and spoke the clearest to me.
Hmm.
But 20 years later, she calls me up again. Oh, she's such a witch, I'll tell you. And said, "You know that deck you've been thinking about for like the last 20 years?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "You should get it done because I got a new publisher and he's kind of looking for a signature deck." So I did. It took me 9 months to the day
Hmm.
from February 21st to June 20, or no, October 99, 20, October 21st, 99 to June 21st, 2000. And it was done. The artwork was finished. And then the wannabe publisher kept messing around. But why 88? Okay.
Hmm.
88 was,
I mean,
I had
as a
it at 8.
numerologist, I love that because
Me
8 is abundance. 88,
exactly.
in Asian countries, 88 or 888, either one is very auspicious for
Hmm. Yeah, or
abundance.
anything with a 9 in it. But the thing was with I had it at 84 for about, well, until a week before that. And but it didn't feel finished. I know I was missing something. I didn't know what it was. And I was talking to a friend of mine who also happened to be a psychic reader, and she says, "You know what your problem is, honey?" And I said, "No, I don't. That's why I'm talking to you." And she said, "Well, what you need is another 4 cards. Why don't you do the elements?" And I said, "Because that's redundant." And but that night I woke up at 3 a.m. with the last 4 cards in my head. The last
There you
four in the
go.
series in my head. And I
There's
got up and I started,
Michelle. Hey, Michelle.
"Hey, Michelle," and we're laughing and carrying on. And 3 a.m. and my roommate, woke up just long enough to say, "What are you doing?" And I said, well, and I was doing the very last card, the I am card.
Mm.
And I was thinking about this joke that I'd heard as a teenager about this mom that walks by her daughter's room, this toddler, well, like 4 year old. And she was really industriously at her little table drawing a picture. And her mom says to her, "Honey, what you doing?" And her kind of, she says, "Well, I'm drawing a picture of God." And her mom thought about it for a second or two, and she shakes her head, and the little girl's still drawing, and she says, "Honey, nobody really knows what God looks like." And the little girl puts her pencil down, looks at her mother, and says, "Well, if you'd let me finish." That's how the I am card got there.
Mm. Wait a minute. Is the I
It's the final
am
card.
car is that the cosmic chicken?
Yes,
I remember. See the cosmic chicken.
but in the new
We're not
edition,
kidding. It actually looks like the cosmic chicken.
it really seriously does.
Hey,
But in the Eternal
Michelle's
Seeker,
in
it
the
looks more like a
chat.
dragon eye.
What's that?
The Eternal Seeker, of course, I based the Eternal Seeker on the majors from the Steel Wizard, and
Sure.
the I am card in that deck, which is the final card in that deck too. It looks like it is a dragon's eye, and the shiny part in the
Mm.
pupil is a universe. If you look really close, you can see it.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
But I like
Cool.
the cosmic chicken. There's a lot to be
Hey,
said for that cosmic chicken.
check out our brand new website, tarotbiz.com. I'm bringing this up, Pam, because I'm going to put in the link for people to get the free PDF handout, and see if I can pop it up here. So it's tiny URL because the Tarot Guild's so long and everything, and plus I have to do it on the back end. I'm just putting it in tiny, because I had this when I uploaded things to the website, the resource URL is like a mile long, for these PDFs. So this is the short one. I just put it in the chat. Just open a new tab in your browser, type in tinyurl.com/collab-PDF. So it's for collaborate. tinyurl.com/collab-PDF. And you'll be able to download the PDF, which I guess I should bring that up here so I can actually see it. There we go. And collaborating with metaphysical shops, getting your cards on their table. Oh, God, I love that title. And no, I did not come up with that. AI came up with that. And I'm like, wow, AI is just getting scary, So we wanted to talk about, because we talk about Tarot Biz. That's the name of our website, and our community on School, which I guess I should put the URL to that in the chat too, which is the one I made up is thetarotguild.com, thetarotguild.com/community to take you right over there. And you can join the community and join the guild for $5 right now. Yeah. So we help professional readers, and you need different streams of income, different ways to get clients and so forth like that. So one of the ways you can do that is collaborating with not just metaphysical bookstores, but any venue that's going to allow you to do readings. And some of them will love to have you there because it's a draw for them, or it's an extra perk having you there, depending on what they're doing, like a hair salon, a spa, a pub, a coffee house.
Coffee shops, yeah.
Yeah, all that kind of thing. And
Bars,
a lot of
actually bars, lounges.
right. And a lot of the times you're going to keep 100% of the readings that you do. And of course, you're going to want to have a mobile payment for that. But with metaphysical shops, they're going to take a cut because they're the ones that are providing the venue and the electricity and the lighting and the AC and the heating in the winter and all that different kind of stuff. So, anticipate 30 to 50%. And you have to look at this. You have to remember to approach this. And I said that in the first paragraph of this PDF. Approach it as a partnership, not a job. And look at the 30 to 50% of your readings that you're doing as overhead, as if if you have your own place. So the shop provides the space and the foot traffic, and the reader provides the experiential value that keeps customers coming back.
Some of them will actually let you rent space from them. That's one of the places that I go now.
Yeah, that's another model.
They have multiple rooms in this
Oh.
this. Oh my gosh, it's amazing, and they're starting to really expand and grow. And that's what I noticed about them is that their actual. Well, the last time I went, they put me in a room that they normally put me in, and then she comes running. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. She says, I forgot somebody had rented this room, and I went, oh, okay. So we just picked everything up and moved about. Oh my gosh, that thing goes on forever. There's got to be 15 rooms in that place, and I loved it because
Amazing.
Where they did put us, it was closer to the back of the building. It was so quiet. It was so private, and that is one thing that I really find in a public setting, the ability to create a safe, sacred space is vital.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in a place like I was last time, you don't have to. It's already prepped for you. But a lot of stores will do that. They will go ahead and rent a room or an area to you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're on your own. I mean, if you don't make any money, then that's up to you. But they will help you advertise, etc. But yeah, that can go over a lot better than splitting whatever you make, because you really have to bump your prices sometimes to do
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was going to say. If you are doing a split, you you need to look at what you need to make and then add on their percentage to it, kind of thing. It's amazing you mentioned that. Here I am in my cafe, my coffee shop right now, and the reason for Psyche Cafe and having a cafe background and all this kind of stuff, for those that don't know, in a different life, I used to manage and own coffee houses all across the West Coast. So, from Seattle all the way down to San Diego. And this is a different lifetime. But I always dreamt, Pamela, of having a coffee shop. So the main thing was it was a coffee shop, but it was like the Tarot Cafe. And the tables, I envisioned having tarot cards across the tables and like having it trying to think of the word, not laminated, but um having a sealant put on top of it, where it's permanent. So the tops of the tables would be cards from all different decks, all different designs and coloring and everything like that. And the main thing, of course, is it's a coffee shop, but it would have a small metaphysical section,
Mhm.
right? And then I used to dream about this, and in my dreams, there would be a hall going back to the back of the store, and of course, the restrooms would be down there, but beyond that would be doors off the hall on either side, and there would be a classroom. There would be 4, 5, 6 smaller office spaces, which I could rent out either to tarot readers or hypnotherapists or Reiki practitioners or massage therapists or anything like that. Have it all in this one building. And I used to wake up having dreamt about that kind of a thing, and when you were describing how they have all these rooms going towards the back, it's like, oh my God, that's exactly like my dreams that I had, maybe 20, 30 years ago for a coffee house. I don't want to say coffee shop. That kind of degrades it. It's a coffee house. So you have your house blend of coffee, maybe even roasted on site. I mean, I was going to go all out, well, when you're dreaming, you can like go all out. But yeah, I always thought about doing something like that. And so here's some from the PDF, follow along. Here's some collaboration ideas. So it says, don't just sit in a corner and read. Offer ways to help the shop sell its inventory. So, for instance, crystal enhanced readings. Offer to incorporate the shop's crystals in your spreads. For example, you might say, I'll use the shop's red quartz during our love reading today to help ground your heart energy. Here's another idea: themed pop up days. Align with the shop's inventory. If they just got a shipment of new moon candles, offer new moon intention readings for 1 week only. Staff trainings and demos. Offer to do a 15-minute how to choose your first tarot deck talk to customers. This establishes you as an expert and helps the shop move product. Instagram takeovers. Offer to do 3 card pulls on the shop's Instagram stories for an hour. It drives digital engagement for them and introduces you to their followers. Let's see, the pitch, how to get hired. Metaphysical shop owners are often protective of their vibe. You need to Prove you are professional, reliable, and ethical. Boy, how do we do that? I got I got something. I forgot to add to the PF that makes sense. It just came to me. The sample reading interview. Most owners will want a reading from you first. Be prepared to do a 10-15 minute demo. Bring a media kit. Don't just show up with a deck. Bring a one-page professional bio that includes a professional headshot, no selfies, professional headshot, your code of ethics. I don't predict death or do health diagnoses, kind of thing, and testimonials from past clients. Okay, here's what I want to add to that I forgot to put in. The Tarot Guild has a code of ethics. Go to tarotbiz.com, and actually, let me bring up the website so I tell you correctly where it is. It's under membership and navigation in the drop down menu under membership. You can click on code of ethics. You can copy and paste it. You can, I should make it PDF downloadable for people. I think I'll start doing that. But you can copy and paste it into, and you can just tweak it, change things, what have you. The other thing was, how to come across professional. Well, do you have your Tarot Guild certification? Get certified by the Tarot Guild. We're going to give you a certificate, which there's a lower res version that you can use on your website, on your social media platforms, and so forth. But there's a high resolution version that's 300 DPI that you can print out. And like Michelle, what she's done, and Dan, they've printed theirs out and laminated them. So you could put it in a frame and put it on your wall. But or in addition to that, if you have a laminated version, you could bring that with you, or even have a copy of it that you put in the media kit, right? So that adds credibility, so when people are always asking, why get certified, there's a perfect example for your media kit. So you can get, hired or allowed to rent, depending on what you're doing with the Metaphysical bookstore. And then lastly, know the business model. Be sure to be ready to discuss the split. Most shops take a percentage, usually 30 to 50%, or charge a daily table fee. See, that's exactly what you said, Pamela. I did already have it in there. Mentioning this up front shows you understand the business side. So what that's talking about is, not waiting for them to say, but just jumping right in. So do you do if they have rooms, you say rooms. If they don't, if they have tables, you say tables. Do you do a table rent, or do you do a percentage? What's your percentage? That makes you sound knowledgeable, like you've done this before, right? And it doesn't leave it on the business owner to bring up the money thing. You can get it out of the way. And then just a little bit more on this PDF. What to tell your audience, actionable advice. Let's see. Okay, visit as a customer first. Don't walk in and ask for a job on day one. Go in, talk to the staff, feel the energy, buy a crystal, see if your style fits their brand, check it out. Also, develop a shop-specific menu. Shops love mini readings, 15 to 20 minutes. Tell your let's see.
Contact.
So create a shop menu. I just realized that I forgot to make a lot of changes on this PDF. I'm sorry, folks. I had AI spit this out for me, and it knows I'm doing a show, and so it says tell your audience. It means me telling you right now on the show. I was supposed to take all that verbiage out and just make it the straight information. And I was in such a hurry, I just threw it on there on the PDF. I apologize. But okay, let me try to translate this here. So create a shop menu with quick, high impact spreads that fit the fast paced retail environment. Stay in your lane. Remind readers that they are there to represent the shop. Never poach clients. Don't move them to your private practice for a lower rate or something like that. Uh, be retail ready. This means being punctual, dressing the part, whatever the shop's aesthetic is. Is it high end? Is it mystical? What is it? And being comfortable with the ritual of exchange. So that means being comfortable with handling money, POS systems, all that kind of thing. And the store may ring everything up, or you may have to have your own mobile POS, which could be as simple as, and we just did shows on this, so go back and watch in the archive. We already did shows on our YouTube channel about various ways to set up taking um, taking payments. And one of the easiest ways is you get a Square account and you put the Square app on your phone, and you just bring up the Square app. You type in, the amount of the sale and so forth. You take their credit card, you put it near the top of your phone, boom, sucks it right in. I think that's called NSF or NFS, near field, near. I can't remember what it's called now, but it detects the chip. In most modern credit cards have the chip in it, or a debit card, and you do it right on your phone. It's like, God, I think the percentage is even small. I know online it's 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. I forget about the swipe or scannable. I think it might even be less than that, processing fee, basically. So there you go. That's all I have with the handout there. So when I started out, uh, that's exactly what I did. There were no metaphysical stores where I was exactly, at least not in a reasonable distance, but lots of coffee houses. And I was already working in the coffee industry. Hadn't launched my own first coffee business yet, but I would, not only did I like working in coffee, but I liked just hanging out there and, have my computer and do studies and, just all kinds of things. And that's what I did. Was I did readings in the coffee houses. And mostly it was independent coffee houses. For one thing, I want to support independent coffee houses. I've always wanted to do that. I owned them, but this was before I owned one. I eventually got into, owning coffee businesses, but at first, you know, you had Starbucks wasn't even a household name yet, but I was living in Seattle, and you had the people that would only go to Starbucks. And then you had another group of people that would only go to Seattle's Best Coffee. And then you had another group of people that wouldn't go to either. They would only go to independent coffee houses, single owner owning one shop, that kind of thing. And because of their atmosphere, they're much more conducive to doing readings, as well as to being open to letting you do readings there. This is the kind of place that would have an open mic night, that kind of thing. Somebody playing guitar, or a small band, or something along those lines. Poetry reads, that kind of thing. Of course, we're going back 30 years. These things were more popular back then. So yeah, that's where I got my start, and you can still do it, and it doesn't have to be a coffee house, like we said, salons and spas. And uh, we have some fancy retreats here in Arizona. Here in Tucson, Madonna used to vacation here. And you wouldn't think Tucson, Arizona. It's like, yeah, we got some fancy stuff up in the foothills, multi-million dollar homes and these resorts and stuff that, because when it's freezing in New Hampshire in the middle of winter, you can come down here and it's sunny and warm. So that's why they would come down here. But there's a lot of different types of venues. I haven't even thought of, yeah, all the possible examples of places, but pubs
If
and
anybody's got
lounges.
any ideas, just post them in the comments because
Yeah.
we're always looking for new venues, and that's something that, well, when Dax and I basically first started reading tarot, it was, you got a lot of this. And oh, you read tarot? Are you a witch? And
Mm.
my general response is, well, dude, I got a hammer. I'm not a carpenter either. So yeah, but once you over the last 20 years ish, it's gone from people not knowing what the heck it is. We've spent a lot of time. A lot of people in our community have spent hours, days, weeks educating people. I did an introduction to tarot at the library here about 15 years ago, and it really went over well. I was totally shocked. I live in Redneck Central. And of course, my first thought was, okay, yeah. But it worked. It really, really worked. And now today, I mean, there's only a few, I've run into a few that really don't, but they're not from around here. They're from other countries and they have different ideas about this kind of modality, let's call it. But the ones that really do know and understand it, they're questioning. They're always going to ask questions, and this is something you need to do. You need to be very informed about your genre. You need to know how tarot works. Why does it work? What separates you? And this was something my husband asked me whenever I was getting ready to start promoting the Steel Wizard.
Mm-hmm.
God, those years ago, back in 2000, whatever it was. He said, "What separates your deck from the rest of them? What makes you unique? Why are you? Why
There's
should they buy your
dragons.
deck and not the other 2,000 that are out there?" And I got to
There's
thinking, I said,
dragons.
"Well, there's that." But basically, what I finally it's the tagline for the Steel Wizard. I tagged it the language of the soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's what tarot is. It is the language of the soul. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
um, you look at one of the workshops I do is on symbolism, and when you look at it, you look at what is nothing has any meaning until you assign it one. Period. The end.
Mm-hmm.
But you really need to know your niche in tarot in order to be able to explain it to someone without tripping over your tongue and saying, hang on, let me go look that up. So you need to know your stuff and you need to be confident about it and not, well, let
So,
me see. I don't know.
so the supposed, well, I might be wrong, but from what I remember, the supposed scary cards in tarot also in your deck are not scary. So,
No, they're honest. I went for authenticity over approval.
mm-hmm.
But when it come to the death card, because I really was so tired of peeling people off the ceiling saying, it's grad students, you know, you're just graduating from high school, you're going to get the death card probably about 30% of the time because you're changing, you're evolving, you're
Yeah,
transforming from living in
transition.
your, yeah. And that's what it's about. So that's what I did was I renamed it, and the same with the devil card. I renamed it materialism because it's about attachments. Now, they don't have to be bad. And I'm always quick to explain that to people.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be attached to your kids, but are you helping them or are you enabling them? And the devil
Mm-hmm.
card will tell you that, you see. So what you do is you try to find, because people listen to you like you're from, God's lips to your ears and out your mouth. They believe. They're going to believe. So be very aware of what you're telling them. I mean, stick to the truth and only the truth. Um, and don't ever, ever talk down to anybody. Anybody. The person sitting across from you during that reading, at that moment in time is the most important person in your life. There is no one outside that area right now that is more important than that person you're reading for, because what you're doing is you're telling them their story. You have
Mm.
downloaded all of their story into these tarot cards, but they've actually done the downloading because I let them pick them out. But either way,
I think of it
this,
like a mirror.
yeah, exactly. It's exactly like a mirror.
Mm.
Exactly. And this is what they're showing me. And I'm just the translator, I'm just the messenger. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not doing anything other than what I see, relaying what I see. But that's how that's it's confidence, it's honesty, and both all of my decks have got a code of ethics in the front. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm a real stinker on that, like Dax is, and I think that's one of the reasons Dax and I always got along so well, is because
Yep.
it is. If it's not, if you have to ask, is it ethical? It probably isn't. So don't do it. Simple.
Exactly. And since we moved to the new website, I don't know if I was smart enough to remember to create a URL for that, but I think I did. But what would it be? Let me see. Okay. Oh, I know what to do. So I'm talking about the code of ethics, and like I said, it's in the drop-down menu. And there's the link. I found the link, and I'm going to put it in the chat for everybody. So it's a little long. It's tarotbiz.com/tarot code of ethics, because I did it as a blog post. So you know how sometimes blog posts, take the title, and so I haven't made a short one yet, like /code. But all you got to do is go to tarotbiz.com under membership, code of ethics, and you can grab a copy. I wanted to mention, it's funny, Pam, because Michelle said in the chat, I get asked that all the time, if she's a witch. Of course,
Well, if she is, she's a darn cute one. I'll give you
uh,
that. She's
well,
adorable.
of course, her answer would be different from yours, where you're like, I have a hammer, but I'm not a carpenter. She would just be, yes. Why, yes, I am. Very simple, very simple. Yes. So anyway, I hope those ideas, give the stuff that we talked about gives you some ideas, but you know, do some research of your own. In other words, we have this fabulous AI. So go on Chat GPT, go on Gemini, and just start typing and explain your situation. And I'm a professional tarot reader, and I want to work with metaphysical bookstores and do readings for them, and I need some really really cool and imaginative and new and different ideas. Either you could be asking about how to get hired, but you could also just ask about what would be some really cool ideas for collaborating. Like AI gave me in that PDF, gave me that one for uh the crystal readings. They have these crystals, get some of the crystals and have the crystals there on your table and use the crystals in your reading. And then, oh yeah, they're over there, they're 25.95. you know but there's probably some really cool things that we have not even thought of yet, ways to collaborate and stuff.
There's another thing that I've done over time. Of course,
Oh, and
creating,
venues and
yeah,
venues.
but creating your own decks. Okay, this is a everybody's got a deck that's missing a card somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got one that's gotten some damaged cards in them. Take the ones that aren't damaged, and you can go all over wherever you are and just leave one or two cards. I've left them on retaining walls. I've left them on front desks. I've left them on a display table. Just a card, you know, whatever one that was in my hand at the time. And oddly enough, I've had people track me down from those,
Right,
which
right.
wasn't
And
easy.
this goes along with we had talked business stuff many, many moons back, last year, and we were talking about, what to do for business cards and such like that. And we had said, take one of your decks where you have a deck of 78 cards, you're missing one or two, but you have over 70 cards, and then you've got the cards with the cool pictures, but then on the back you got the back, and it's like a canvas. And you can get at office supplies those stickers, which you can run through a printer and print all your information on there. Have AI come up with a fancy tagline, tarot by Pamela, and then a fancy tagline, I disperse the wisdom of the universe. I mean, not that, but whatever it is, what's your niche? Like, it's like I help reunite lost flames, or so. I don't know what it is your niche is. And then put your contact information on there, maybe some of your social medias, maybe a phone number if you have a business phone number, not your cell phone, guys, not your house phone. You gotta have like I use Google Voice. It works great. I have Google on my phone and on my computer here, and I have a free phone number from Google that I've been using as my business number for, I don't know, a couple decades or decade and a half or something now. And it's 520-352-4DAX, the number 4 DAX, 352-4DAX. Yeah. And so you can write it out, if you get a fancy one like that. I mean, I just put in the numbers at the end that I wanted. 4 DAX comes out to I think it's 4878 or something like that. And you can choose your own number. And if you're lucky, you can get one that you can use where you can just put letters in, and it looks really cool, 352-4 DAX. And maybe your email address, your website if you have it, and then just print those out. And then take your cards from your deck that's missing cards anyway, and you don't use it anymore because it's missing cards, just slap those stickers on the back. And then do what Pam said. You're at a coffee house, lay a few out. A lot of times they have bookshelves, or there's a shelf near like the restroom, and everybody's going to go use the restroom, and they'll see tarot cards laying there. Of course, do them face up, like lay the card like that, and the person's going to pick it up. They're going to look at it. They're going to flip it over. Oh, tarot by Pamela. And if you don't have a deck like that, fortunately, we live in a time of Amazon. And you can go on Amazon and other places online, Etsy and so forth like that. You can get $5 decks, spend $5. This deck I have here, I don't know. I was going to say I wouldn't recommend this because it's gold foil, but I guess you could put stickers on the back of that still. It would stick. Yeah, that would stick. So these gold foil decks are very inexpensive. I mean, I can't remember what I paid for this, but I think I have a URL, thetarotguild.com/ is it foil deck? Yes. There you go. There's another URL for you, thetarotguild.com/foil deck. It'll take you right over there. $12.99. That's pretty good. If I take my little calculator here and do $12.99 divided by 78 cards, that's 16 cents a card, to use as a business card. I mean, it's the most, brilliant idea. And heck, you're a tarot reader. You use decks of cards. Why would you not use cards as your business card? People are more likely to hold on to that than they are to hold on to a business card. They're just going to toss it in the, circular file. Another thing about it is what Pam was saying, putting these out all over town and stuff like that. Maybe you want to get, you know, get 10 $5 decks offline, $50. Uh, $50 plus the cost of some stickers. I mean, that's cheaper than getting a bunch of business cards printed, right? And lay them all around town. But also, there's the in person thing. You know, when you're in person, you have your stickers on the back of the cards, you know, but you can turn the deck face up. They don't know the sticker is back there yet. And you go, here, pick a card, pick a card, pick a card. And they pick a card and you tell them about the card. Well, this is the full card. And just, you know, give them a whole thing. And I would, you know, cover so they don't see it because it's a magic trick. You're going to be going, telling them all about this, and they're going to get all, ooh. And then you go, hey, hang on to that. If you ever need me, my info is on the back. Brilliant. You know, it's like a lot of people go to dinner parties or, you know, what have you, and they don't know what to do with themselves. Go around and talk to everybody and give everybody a card. And at the
Book
end there,
clubs, dress clubs, candle parties, you
yeah,
name it.
whatever it
There's
is you're
so
doing,
many opportunities.
mm-hmm. Whatever you do in your regular life. Um, and I've been guilty of this too, because I've had many business cards and things over the years. And you know, I don't do readings as much as I used to because I've been doing the Tarot Guild for freaking 20 years. Uh and these shows and stuff. But I'm out and about. I'm at the American Legion post or something like that, and somehow it comes up, and somehow they know that I do tarot or whatever, and or they discover in the conversation that that's one of the things I do, numerology, tarot, and they go, "Do you have a business card?" And every single time, I fricking don't have a business card with me. You know, every single time, it's like, "Oh, geez, I was just gonna get some printed up. I haven't done it yet." You know, so I just give them my socials. You know, but yeah, I need to do this too. Grab some decks and stick my contact information on them. Let me tell you. But you can do it so inexpensively, and it's so much more memorable. You know,
Mhm.
it's a really cool idea. But as far as collabs, you know, do do some AI deep diving there, and uh, AI will come up with some, you know, ask it what's some unusual collaborative possibilities for a tarot reader with local businesses, and you'll be surprised at the stuff that pops up. And then if you're uh, already getting a gig or a place or renting a table or a room or what have you, then use AI to think of, you know, what's some really cool ideas that I could collaborate with. I'm working with XYZ store and I'm doing tarot readings there, and they have these products, and just list them all out. You put a whole entire, you know, 10 sheets of stuff into AI, and it'll read it all instantly, and it'll give you fantastic ideas. And then when it's around the holidays, like February is coming up, Valentine's Day, you know, and it's like, what's some really unique ideas or unusual ideas or what have you, you know, for things I could offer or readings I could offer for Valentine's Day for couples, you know. And yeah, you know, there's the, you know, couple readings and all that kind of thing, and I always do, you know, numerology charts for two and things like that. But put this stuff into AI and let it spit out some like really unique things that you've never even thought of. Yep. Okay, so we are at the top of the hour. It's almost time to get out of here. Real quick before we get out of here, let me mention that we're doing Tarot Tuesdays now. So this Tuesday, which is what, the 27th, we'll be doing a show 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's also a live Zoom call. All of our shows, except for some of Michelle's, they're all live Zoom calls for our members. You can join us on Zoom as well as join us on YouTube. So we've added a third YouTube show and third Zoom call. So we're doing 3 a week now, folks. If you're one of our members, you have plenty of opportunities to pop on and get mentoring, coaching, Q&A, discussion, whatever you'd like to do. So that's this Tuesday, January 27th. And then the next day, Wednesday, January 28th, we have a private members only Q&A, coaching, and coffee at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And then next Saturday, it's the 31st already. Michelle's already done her Mystic Corner shows for the month. When there's a 5th Saturday, we do a Psychic Cafe show. So we're going to be talking about, should you create your own online store or open an Etsy shop? Dr. Rose has been looking into Etsy, and so she has some things to say. So hopefully she's going to be here. We'll see who else can join us. Ellie, Pamela, Corby, Michelle. And then that Sunday we're already into February 1st. How to pitch yourself for podcasts and guest blogs. So a week from today, we're going to be talking about, you should be getting out there in 2026 and getting yourself on as a guest on podcasts and write blog posts, articles for blogs and different. We'll see if we can come up with some other ideas, right, Pam? And then,
There's all kinds of things out there. It's just that some of them are pretty well hidden, and that's
yeah,
where it's better as if we work as a group, because then what I miss, somebody else will find. Simple.
exactly. And then we'll get into February, and of course, Tarot Tuesdays again on February 3rd. And then Thursday, February 5th, we're doing that Q&A, coaching and coffee, private members only Zoom call. It's not on YouTube. And it's oh, the times are wrong on here. Damn, I just noticed that. It says 6 p.m. It's actually 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. So that is like this one. Oh, no. I got too many slides. It's like this one, Thursday, February 5th. And the reason why I wanted to mention that was in February, we're moving these Q&A, coaching, and coffee private Zoom calls to Thursdays at 11 a.m. Pacific. We did do some evening ones. And so that's why that one said 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, because we were doing some evening ones. But we've only ever had a trickle of a couple of people. So we're going to try some morning afternoon ones for February, see what happens. Yep. So make sure you join us on Tuesday. I'll be back. And that's it. It is 1 o'clock my time. Time to get out of here. This is a lot of fun. I kind of, I wish that who was it? Oh, shoot, my mind's blanking. Ginger Stare. I wish Ginger had
Yeah.
made it, because she actually owns a metaphysical bookstore and she probably has some brilliant ideas. So what we'll do is we'll just impromptu get her on to one of these shows and see if she can hang out with us. A lot of our topics about business, like just how we just got back into talking about business cards and giving away tarot cards as business cards, a lot of our topics on business overlap anyway. So we might have a show where we're talking about something else, but it still dovetails nicely into collaborating with metaphysical bookstores. So I'll get with Ginger, see when she can pop on one of these Sundays, or maybe even one of the. I'm trying to look at our calendar on our school community here with all the upcoming stuff. And let's see, maybe even that Saturday one, January 31st, where we're talking about, do you create your own online store, open an Etsy shop, and then maybe we could talk to Ginger about, brick and mortar, doing a metaphysical store, and then also talk about tarot readers collaborating, or maybe that Sunday, the first. See, we're talking about blogs. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get Ginger on here. But thanks for being here, Pam. I had a good time.
It was awesome.
Yep. Got to get out of
Thanks,
here, guys.
guys.
Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.